On a serene suburban street, Jake's innocent enthusiasm masks a looming twist. Unbeknownst to him, the letter in his hands flickers ominously, hinting at a reality far removed from science camp. As Jake remains utterly unaware, the emphasizes dramatic zoom-in on the letter as he remains oblivious. At the unassuming bus stop, Jake boards a black smoke-belching bus, oblivious to the sinister reality that awaits. In his innocent ignorance, Jake remains convinced this is just another quirky camp theme. The bus driver reveals a shocking anomaly: 3 eyes that pierce the veil of normalcy. Menacing figures fill the bus, their bizarre appearances hinting at the nightmare Jake is about to enter. Emerging from the swirling fog, Shadowspire Academy looms a colossal, gothic castle with spires that pierce the heavens. Amidst the magical chaos, students arrive via shimmering teleporters, sputtering cauldrons, and majestic dragons, painting a vibrant tableau of arcane transport. Jake stands frozen, his slack jaw and wide eyes betraying the earth-shattering revelation that this is no ordinary science camp. The stark reality crashes down upon him. This is definitely not the science camp he had anticipated. Jake enters his cramped dorm room, only to be greeted by a sight of serpentine horror as snakes slither from his roommate's sleeves. In a gesture of eerie friendship, Slith extends a hand, offering Jake a dead rat as a macabre token of camaraderie. Overwhelmed by the bizarre offering, Jake unleashes a primal scream of terror and disbelief. Jake tentatively steps into his new dorm room, unaware of the bizarre horrors that await him. A thick, viscous slime oozes from the walls, reflecting the dim light with an unsettling, unnatural sheen. In the oppressive silence, a mini-fridge suddenly hums to life, its door creaking open to reveal a judgmental red light. The fridge's judging gaze sweeps over Jake's meager food supplies, intensifying his growing sense of unease and isolation. Overwhelmed by the bizarre environment, Jake feels the walls closing in as he confronts the unsettling reality of his new home. Dean Hexabel's thunderous voice echoes through the assembly hall, her terrifying vision to shape the villains of tomorrow, sending shivers down spines. In the heart of the audience, Jake silently battles rising panic, the crushing weight of his predicament suffocating him. The hall is filled with the silent dread of the students. In a mad science classroom, Professor Kackelstein, a caricature of scientific eccentricity, ignites the scene with manic energy. A gesture too grand unleashes chaos, as the whiteboard erupts in a spectacular shower of sparks and smoke. Amidst the scientific pandemonium, Jake questions the obvious lack of safety precautions, only to be met with derision. The class responds in unison, branding Jake a nerd for his concern amid the mayhem. In the chemistry lab, Jake's accidental invention unleashes a shrinking potion, setting the stage for unparalleled chaos. The class gerbil undergoes a monstrous transformation, defying expectations as it mutates into a skyscraper-sized kaiju. Terror grips the students as they witness the unbelievable, erupting into screams and a frantic scramble for safety. The chemistry lab descends into pandemonium, a scene of utter chaos as the monstrous gerbil threatens to obliterate everything in its path. In the dim glow of a cluttered dorm room, a juvenile python, Slith, engages in an unexpected bonding ritual with Jake Toothbrush. Amid the unsettling scene, Slith declares, bonding ritual, Jake-S. Jake, aghast at the sight, exclaims, "That's my toothbrush." Jake plunges into the pandemonium of the lunchroom, a solitary figure braving a battlefield of culinary chaos. Dodging the onslaught, Jake's every move is a desperate ballet as weaponized squid tentacles streak past him. Amidst the absurdity, Jake, the outsider, is a fish out of water, lost in a sea of flying food and reckless abandon. In the evil history classroom, the teacher's dramatic gestures fill the space, while students nervously clutch their rolls, bracing for the lesson. Narrator reveals Jake's misfortune. Jake ends up as intern to the sidekick, much to his embarrassment. As Jake grapples with his fate, His eyes reflect a mix of humiliation and disbelief. Amidst the gadget show and tell, Jake unveils his tiny trash compactor, a marvel of engineering poised for demonstration. Chaos erupts as Jake's demonstration misfires, turning Professor Cacklestein's desk into a mere marble amidst a cloud of dust and splinters. Professor Cacklestein stares in stunned silence, his face a canvas of shock and awe, as the reality of his desk's fate sinks in. Breaking the silence, Professor Cacklestein admits, "Well, I must say, that's quite impressive, even if it was my desk." Jake is thrust into the dimly lit dungeon, the echoing clang of the iron door sealing his fate. Expecting a cold, damp prison, Jake is met with the absurd reality of a surprisingly opulent space. Steam billows from a large, inviting hot tub, mocking Jake's expectations with its unexpected comfort. In the dimly lit hall of forgotten minions, Jake tiptoes cautiously, his heart pounding like a drum against his ribs. The silence of the hall is shattered by the faint echoes of Jake's footsteps, amplifying his mounting dread. Suddenly, ethereal figures materialize from the shadows, their eyes glowing with an unsettling zeal, trapping Jake in a spectral purgatory. Jake freezes, his face frozen in pure terror as he succumbs to the ghostly embrace of the forgotten. In the dean's imposing office, Dean Hexabel's piercing gaze scrutinizes Jake, setting a stage filled with arcane mystery. Dean Hexabel sits behind her desk, her expression a mask of sharp assessment, as Jake stands before her, visibly bewildered by the surroundings. The air in the office crackles with unspoken questions, as Jake meets the Dean's unwavering stare. In the heart of the Villain talent show, Jake proudly reveals the Shrinking Ray 2, triggering a storm of thunderous laughter. Chaos descends as the Shrinking Ray 2 defies expectations, shrinking the entire auditorium, unleashing a symphony of panic and praise. The once grand auditorium becomes a miniaturized spectacle, encapsulating both the thrill of success and the terror of the unknown.